Ahoy there! Join me for a 7-night voyage on Cunard's majestic Queen Victoria. We visit the beautiful cities of Vigo, Porto and Lisbon. Along the way, we'll explore the sights, stories and character of each destination, from tiled rooftops to hillside views, to castles, cable cars and unexpected moments. On the return leg, you'll see us cross the Bay of Biscay in true seafaring style through a Force 11 storm. How did Queen Victoria handle it? Stick around to find out. I'm David from Curious to Travel. Whether you're planning a cruise yourself or just like exploring from the comfort of home, sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy the trip. Welcome aboard. We sailed from Southampton's Ocean Cruise Terminal on the Monday before Easter this year in 2025. We were in Balcony Club, which is kind of like premium economy if this were a flight. And this is a quick look at our stateroom on Deck 7. If you're curious for more, there's a full stateroom tour coming very soon on my channel. As soon as you board, you hear the Cunard safety announcement automatically playing on the TV. It's kind of like a little tradition of its own. For the first 2 nights and a sea day, we cruised across the English Channel and then across the Bay of Biscay. I travelled with my husband Tim and 2 good friends, and we had a great chance to catch up and settle into the rhythm of life at sea. Queen Victoria didn't disappoint, with plenty of cosy bars and evening entertainment where the theatre shows were really stellar. It was the last week of our entertainment cast contract, so they really gave it everything. Before we knew it, we awoke to our first port of call, Vigo. We've arrived in Vigo. Tucked into the dramatic Atlantic coast of northwestern Spain, Vigo is Galicia's largest city, and it's got a charm all its own. Picture a working port with a proud maritime spirit, surrounded by rolling green hills and dramatic ocean views. The city's full of contrasts. Historic stone buildings sit alongside modern sculptures and grand plazas. Keep an eye out for elegant facades, ornate lamps, and unexpected bits of art tucked into corners across the city. Vigo is especially famous for its incredible seafood, but even just wandering the streets here, you'll find Vigo has a unique energy, vibrant, slightly gritty, and totally authentic. Let's go and explore. We chose a guided walking tour from Cunard's shore excursions, and our guide was very informative, talking us through the many interesting places we visited, and I'll share some of her insights with you here. Walking from the cruise terminal along the promenade, we come to the monument to José El Duayen, honouring a 19th century engineer and politician who helped shape modern Vigo with major projects like the port and the railway. And the building with the copper egg on the roof? Our tour guide tells us that it is Casa Mulder, a stunning modernist gem from the early 1900s, designed by Genaro de la Fuente, known for its elegant stonework and curved balconies. A short walk from here is an urban park called Alameda de Praza de Compostela, often just called La Alameda, where at the centre flows a beautiful fountain surrounded by winding paths and vibrant flower beds and sculptures by local artists. Created in the late 19th century on land reclaimed from the sea, this was Vigo's very first municipal garden, located in the elegant heart of its Ensanche district. Originally a simple poplar-lined promenade, it was transformed in 1884 by architect Domingo Rodriguez Sesmero, who added formal flower beds, fountains, a charming music pavilion, and plenty of inviting benches. In 1935, to celebrate Vigo's connection with the nearby city of Santiago de Compostela, the park was officially renamed Plaza de Compostela. Spanning 9,000 square metres, the Alameda is lush with magnolias, camellias, and chestnut trees, offering shade and a peaceful atmosphere. It's not just a green oasis, but also a lively social spot, hosting book fairs, concerts, and daily gatherings beneath its elegant cast iron lamps and alongside its stone benches. Teatro Garcia Barbon is Vigo's stunning early 20th century theatre, celebrated for its elegant architecture and cultural significance. One of its most striking features are the two majestic bronze Pegasus sculptures, those iconic winged horses you see on the roof, which were added during a major renovation in 1984. One thing that really stood out to us in Vigo was just how clean and well cared for the city looked. Everywhere there was attention to detail in maintaining its appearance. Even a redundant tunnel entrance, which was covered in graffiti, was cleverly screened off with attractive planting, turning what could have been an eyesore into something much more pleasant. That striking sculpture you see is El Sereno, or the Merman, a fascinating hybrid figure that's part man, part fish. Crafted from gleaming stainless steel by the renowned Galician artist Francisco Leiro in 1991, it stands proudly atop two polished black granite pillars soaring about 11 metres high. You'll find this iconic piece right in the heart of Praça do Sol, where it adds a modern, artistic flair to the square. Vigo's hilly landscape can be a challenge, but the city's made it easier to explore with public escalators on either side of the square. The Fuente de Neptuno is one of Vigo's oldest public sculptures, with strong ties to the city's early urban life. First recorded in the early 1600s under King Philip II, this fountain was an essential source of fresh water, fed by a spring system that supplied the old walled city and its residents. The Arco de Quijos is an elegant historic gateway in Vigo dating back to the 18th century. Originally part of the city's defensive walls, it recently underwent careful restoration to preserve its classic stone arches and architectural charm. Today, it stands as a proud symbol of Vigo's rich history and heritage. If you're enjoying this trip report, please consider throwing me a like and subscribing for more videos about all things Cunard coming very soon. The Praça da Constitución is one of Vigo's oldest squares, originally serving as a bustling marketplace. Today, it's still a lively spot, surrounded by charming cafes and historic buildings. The Parto Urbano da Familia Passos Figueira is one of Vigo's oldest and most impressive historic buildings. This grand urban mansion showcases classic Galician architecture and tells the story of the influential Passos Figueira family, who played a key role in the city's history. We climbed to the Castello de San Sebastian, which is a 17th century bastioned fortress with a fascinating history. Built between 1656 and 1668 during King Philip IV's reign, it was designed as a key part of Vigo's defence system against the English, Portuguese and pirate attacks during the Restoration War. Today, only fragments remain: the northern wall, a sentry box, and parts of two bastions. Built from granite, the classic star-shaped design, the site is surrounded by a peaceful garden and plaza. Visitors enjoy stunning panoramic views of the old town, estuary and harbour. Though it's a quieter spot, it's a must-see for anyone interested in Vigo's rich history, and this was the perfect end to our walk through Vigo. As we cross the iconic bridge Ponte Luís I, Porto greets us under a soft, silvery sky. The rain brings out the deep colours of the city, from the tiled facades to the rooftops rising above the Douro River. Portugal's second largest city is known for its layered hills, architecture, and of course, its world-famous port wine. Even on a grey day, Porto has a quiet magic that pulls you in. From the heights of the Ponte Luís I, we hop onto the cable car for a slow descent to the riverside. It's a short ride, but one that reveals Porto from a whole new angle, drifting above a patchwork of terracotta rooftops where the rain deepens every colour, and narrow alleys seem to twist between the buildings like stories waiting to be told. We glide down alongside the Douro River, wide, calm and central Porto's history. Stretching over 850 kilometres from northern Spain to the Atlantic Ocean, the Douro has long been a lifeline for trade and travel. In the past, wooden Rebello boats carried barrels of port wine from the vineyards of the Douro Valley downstream to the city's wine cellars, a journey that helped shape Porto's identity. Today, those boats are mostly for show, but the river still brings life to the city, anchoring its rhythm. After heading back on the coach to Queen Victoria, later that afternoon we set sail for Lisbon and got a great view of the striking cruise terminal just up the coast from central Porto in Matosinhos. The Leixões cruise terminal was designed by architect Luís Pedro Silva and opened in 2015. This dramatic white structure wraps around itself like a ribbon, clad in over 1 million ceramic tiles that shimmer even on grey days like today. The following morning, this is the view from my balcony, with Lisbon rising ahead, sunlight flickering across its hills and pastel rooftops. The city feels timeless and full of promise. So, this is the Portuguese capital. Let's go and take a look. We decided to walk up to the castle of St. George. As we make our way up through the winding alleys of Alfama, Lisbon's oldest neighbourhood reveals itself in every step. This maze of narrow streets and steep stairways dates back to medieval times, surviving the great 1755 earthquake that reshaped much of the city. Walking here feels like stepping back in time, with laundry hanging overhead, tiled facades weathered by centuries, and local life unfolding in every corner. Alfama was once the heart of Lisbon's fishing community, and later became known for its soulful fado music, which we'll briefly hear later. There's a glimpse of Queen Victoria through the buildings. This chap gave us quite a fright. I'm told the district's name comes from the Arabic al-Hama, meaning hot fountains or baths, a reminder of Lisbon's Moorish past. And here comes one of Lisbon's iconic Remodelado trams, painted bright yellow and carefully restored from originals dating back to the 1930s and 40s. These vintage trams navigate the city's steep, narrow streets daily, carrying around 30,000 passengers each day during the busy spring season. They're both a vital part of Lisbon's transport and a beloved symbol of its history. Oh dear, this was a dead end. Time to double back and try again. That's Fado, Portuguese traditional urban folk music which originated in old neighbourhoods like Alfama. It's known for its mournful, expressive melodies. A bit of online digging tells me that the instrument is a Portuguese guitarra, a 12-string, pear-shaped instrument developed in the 18th century and central to Fado music. At last, we reach the entrance to the Castle of St. George, which has stood watch over the city for nearly 1,000 years. Our admission cost €15 each. It was very hot and crowded around the entrance gates, but once we were in, there was shade and much more space. Just inside the entrance to the Castle of St. George, there's a wide terrace and sweeping views over Lisbon. At the centre stands a statue of St. George himself, the dragon-slaying patron saint of knights and soldiers. From here you can see the Dargus River stretching south and the city's red rooftops spilling westward down the hills. In the distance is Praça do Comércio, once the site of the royal palace, and today one of Lisbon's grandest squares, open to the river and rich with history. We learned that these cannons date back to the 17th and 18th centuries, when the castle served as a key defensive post against pirate attacks and foreign fleets entering the Dargus estuary. Among the castle's ancient stones, we find these free-roaming peacocks, a tradition dating back centuries. Though not native to Portugal, they were introduced to adorn the grounds and symbolise beauty and pride. Apparently the males are famous for fanning their magnificent tails to attract mates or show dominance. Well, look at him. He seems to be showing us who's boss. As we step through the castle's ancient walls, we enter a fortress that has stood watch over Lisbon for nearly 1,000 years. Originally built by the Moors in the 11th century and later taken by the Portuguese in the 12th century, the Castle of St George has played a pivotal role in the city's defence and history. Inside, the inner keep offers a glimpse into medieval life, with stone battlements, towers, and remnants of royal quarters that once housed kings and soldiers alike. The climb up these walls connects us to centuries of history, where centuries stood guard, watching for approaching ships or invaders. Today, the castle remains a symbol of Lisbon's resilience and enduring spirit, blending the past with breathtaking views of the vibrant city it protects. And with that, we descend back to our ship. Lisbon is famous for its azulejos, the colourful ceramic tiles that adorn its many buildings. These beautiful tiles not only add vibrant patterns to the city's facades, but also help protect the houses from weather and wear, blending art and function in true Portuguese style. I'm afraid I've no idea where this was on the map. If you know, please tell us in the comments. We set sail for home, past Cristo Rei, Lisbon's iconic statue of Christ, inspired by Rio's Christ the Redeemer, symbolising peace and protection over the city. We now had 3 nights and 2 sea days ahead of us before we arrived back home in Southampton. Tim and I explored the ship some more, and here are some of her highlights. You can see more of her when I publish her full ship tour, coming soon. Queen Victoria is a beautifully traditional ship, known for her luxury and charm. She's considered medium-sized, carrying up to 2,000 guests. Just the right size to feel spacious but still intimate. I filmed these scenes early in the morning to avoid crowds. As we sailed up the Iberian Peninsula, the weather deteriorated, and our captain, Captain Andrew Hall, informed us that we'd be sailing through a force 11 storm, which is almost a hurricane. We took our seasickness tablets and hoped for the best. Queen Victoria seemed to handle the storm surprisingly well, and although there was obviously some movement, it didn't seem excessive. I've heard that she was commissioned with a specially strengthened bow for her Atlantic crossings. If you know anything about this, please let me know in the comments. Before we knew it, it was our last night, and the dreaded Cunard luggage tags were delivered to our stateroom, ready for disembarkation, back at the Ocean Cruise Terminal in Southampton in the morning. I hope you liked this trip report, and if you did, please consider throwing me a like and subscribe so you don't miss more videos about Cunard coming soon. I would love to hear your thoughts, or perhaps your own experiences of Cunard or Vigo, Porto or Lisbon in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. That's it. I'm David from Curious to Travel. Stay curious.